Hi, this is Jack again. Okay, I'm going to do a God, Adam and Eve 2. The reason why I say that is I muddled up a little bit in the previous one. I apologize for that. It is just that I am seriously coming through speaking. I have no preparation. I have nothing, no notes or anything. It's how we speak in the dimensions, moment here as who we are. And thus I'm going to re-speak the God, Adam and Eve scenario. Okay, so where I explained last was that Marduk spent most of the time with the male and the female expression. Because he did the last, he was in charge of the programming for them and of them. And he designed them into the expression of human beings today, which is the observation of nature, and the interpretation of themselves, the interpretation of the experience of themselves. So all interpretations of nature, of themselves, the physical form, to eat, etc., was done through Marduk. Mostly all that human beings are today. And this is not exactly what Anu preferred. It really bothered him that they had become to an extent equal to Marduk and even to them in their expression of their, because they were basically programmed duplicates of beings in the interdimensional beings. And this hindered Anu extensively when he found out. He didn't like that at all. It did not satisfy him. And so he went to the Syrians and the serpents, and he informed them of the situation, that it doesn't feel right. These are systems. They are interpreting. They are communicating. They're experiencing themselves, and everything was programmed, and he doesn't like that. He said, what would happen if these systems would think that they are actual beings that are equal and one with us? And so the serpents and Anu had an idea. The serpent said, okay, I have an idea. We have to pronounce our authority. And Anu said, okay, how are we exactly going to do that? And he said, become their ruler, become their god. Because at the moment Marduk is wanting them to be equal, and that's not what you want, that's not what we want. They're our slaves, and that's how they must remain. And Anu said, okay, let's do that. So Anu and the serpents worked together, and the serpents presented themselves with the human beings. No, they didn't exactly in a snake form at all. The serpents basically went to the beings and said, you are in the kingdom of your ruler, and you must be, you're in the kingdom of your ruler. And then basically Anu came in as his god figure. So Anu and the serpents were more involved in the whole beginning of creation in terms of the idea of God and being misled by the serpent. The snake, in terms of that entire story, that is not really true about the whole snake and the woman having the apple story, or the woman having the eating the forbidden fruit thing. That was more placed for the dominion of man to reign on earth, so that inherently man blames the woman, the men blames the woman for the situation of this earth and why human beings are here where they are today. And you do. I mean, men make joke about it, but you know they are actually angry sometimes. Yet they don't know it. It's unconscious. It's unconscious programming for the woman of the earth. So women and men, it's neither your fault, but to an extent it is because you allowed it. We all did. I mean, we're all responsible for who we are now in existence, dimensional beings, human beings. So that's how it panned out. So Anu said, right, you guys, it was fine now with them being, basically the two expressions, the male and the female, remained the same as Marduk programmed them, you know, experiencing themselves and interpreting the reality in the world and the nature and the animals, etc. He was fine with that as long as they didn't think that they were equal to them, that he didn't accept. So he presented themselves as their god, and so did the serpent. And so, of course, Marduk got extensively angry, got really angry. He said, fine, you want your systems to be your slaves, then your slaves shall have pain. And they must then suffer, because slaves suffer. So he basically did this to man, if you want to call it that, in terms of the pain of experiencing childbirth for the woman. Because the woman births a child. It's got nothing to do with the woman taking the forbidden fruit from the snake and how the woman of the world must suffer it. That's bullshit. It's not about that. It's just that unfortunately the woman is the one that gives birth to the child, so she endures the pain. That's unfortunately how it is. If men were the ones to birth children, then you would have experienced the pain. It's got nothing to do with the forbidden fruit story. And so Marduk designed and placed himself in this entire reality, and he said he'll pass on from generation to generation. Slaves they will be, slaves they are, and slaves they will remain. It's basically the words he spoke. And so where are you guys today? Still human beings in the same scenario. Enslaved by a god, experiencing the pain of childbirth. That's basically it. Okay, this is Jack. I'll continue in my next interview. Thank you very much.